The North Central College women's basketball team gets its first conference victory. Track and field hosts the first meet ever invitational, and the men's basketball team looks for a rebound. All this and much, much more as the Cardinal Report rolls on. The women's basketball team entered the season with only 2 Cardinals returning from last year's squad. Kendra Hunter is now midway through the second season as the team's coach. And though the roster may be young, the Cardinals have showed they can compete in the CCIW. Joining me today is the coach of the Cardinals. And Kendra, coming off your first season as the team's head coach, you guided them to the CCIW tournament. And that was the first time that the school had ever done that in the tournament's history. Coming into this year, only 2 girls came back to join the team. Had to be a little kind of, I don't want to say disappointing, but a little saddening.
You know, you can look at it in many different ways. Obviously when you come in as a new head coach, you kind of set your standards and expectations for how you want to move forward as a program, and that's what I've tried to do. And some players, you know, for personal reasons couldn't come back, and some players, you know, didn't want to do the work it took to live up to the standards that I've set. And so we only have 2 back, but I look at it as a positive in that they've really bought into what I'm trying to do and have been leaders, you know, moving forward with this young team. Absolutely.
Brittany James and Jackie Rico both were big contributors in Saturday's 62-58 win over Augustana. The Cardinals, they got up early 11-5 on the Vikings with some tough defense. Freshman Sophie Newsom gets the steal and leads it to Christine Carl for the layup. Less than a minute later, Jackie Rico got a steal, hit Carl for a jumper. This game was eventually tied at 15 points after a Christine Fox three-pointer. This was truly a back-and-forth game between the 2 teams.
Yeah, it was. It was a great game. 2 teams that were coming out, you know, obviously were both struggling, you know, to get wins in conference. So it was a great, just 2 teams battling it out. And I was proud of the way our team came out initially and took the lead, and then had to defend that lead. And, you know, we know we're not going to win games. We're not going to blow teams out. We're going to have to earn and fight for every win. And I was just proud of the way our girls continued to fight throughout the entire game.
Now, Errico and Christine Carl, they went into halftime leading the team with 8 points apiece. Jackie's three-pointer with, I believe, like 14 seconds to go before the half gave the Cardinals the 34-31 lead. Both players coming up big in the first half, keeping the Cardinals in the game.
Yeah, that play before the half was huge. And I told the team afterward, you know, in games like this, every possession counts, every play counts. And those 3 points, you know, when you look at the end of the game, we hit some free throws at the end and had a 4-point cushion, you know, going into Augie's last possession. And you have to look backwards in the game. And obviously there's other points scored, but that was a huge play that she hit that shot and gave us that 3-point advantage.
Yeah, in the second half, 8 lead changes, I believe, total in this game. The Vikings, they were up by 4, like you said, 54-50. But then back-to-back three-pointers by Rico and Newsom. Newsom, she is a forward for you, a freshman. You expect three-pointers from her?
You know, I think all of our post players have the ability to shoot from the outside. We don't put them in that position very often, but they certainly have the green light if they're open to take those shots. They practice those shots like everyone else does in practice, and I think that that's one of the advantage of our players is that they are versatile and can play outside and inside. But her forte is, you know, the paint on in, but it's good to know that she can hit those shots as well.
Now, all that being said, it was the Cardinals coming up big at the free throw line, icing it at the end for the 62-58 win.
Yeah, Jackie and Jenny Swanson, another freshman, you know, hit those free throws. And, you know, we've struggled some this season with our free throw percentage in different games. And so I just see this as a good confidence boost, you know, for them, both of them. Jackie's always been a good free throw shooter. Jenny has the capability to be a great shooter and free throw shooter. So I just think that was great for her to be in that position and to put those in.
You know, a team with only 3 upperclassmen, how important was it for them to get that first CCIW win under their belt?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, we've talk to our team a lot about the fact that we can compete with anyone in our conference. But, competing and winning are two different things, and they have to get the taste of those victories to know that they can do it, and they get excited about it. One thing I'd say about this team is they've stayed very positive all year. When you have a losing record, it's easy to get down on yourselves, get down on each other, get down on your coaching staff, whatever the case may be, and this team has stayed positive the entire way and just continues to want to get better.
Well, they got better on Saturday. We got reactions from the game in this week's What's the Word?
A few of us before the game, probably about 5 of us, were just talking about how we just needed to come in and just get a W just for our confidence and all of that stuff. So it was a really big win for us, and I think it'll keep carrying over. At least I hope it does.
We knew it was going to be a tough matchup. Talent-wise, it's a toss-up. I think on any given night it can go any way. We both have players that can go off for big nights.
Well, they're kind of around the same skill level as us. We could compete with them, and they came out and play hard. So when they play hard, that just pushes us to play even harder.
I think our expectations have been the same, just to come out and show people that just because it's a young group, that's not an excuse. Our young girls have stepped up and gave a lot of seniors and all conference players a run for their money. So I think our mindset has just been going to go out every game and fight and make North Central proud.
Well, I think the top of this conference is pretty much set. From number 4 on down, I think it's a toss-up. We're all pretty evenly matched. The other teams are doing the same thing. So, you got to bring your A game every night.
Some people might say we're inexperienced, but I'm ready to keep taking this win and keep winning more games. So.
Coach, after the game, Coach Bobby Endress from Augustana, she's very complimentary towards the Cardinals' defense.
Well, that's very nice to hear. That's one thing we work on a lot in practice is our defense. And while we still have ways to go, I like to think that we do, create a problem for people with our defense. And we've had to play a lot of zone this year based on just our personnel and limited numbers, and sometimes to keep us out of foul trouble. And I think we've become effective with that. Against Augustana, we played a lot more man, and that was working for us, with their personnel. But I think, we emphasize getting in those passing lanes, pressuring the ball, and trying to create turnovers and letting our defense create our offense.
And Coach, not only is this a young team, this is also a team that's battled a lot of injuries. Just kind of talk about how you've kind of seen the maturation process up to this point of the season.
Yeah, some years are like this where you just, it's almost like a revolving door in the athletic training room. Somebody comes out and is finally healthy, and you send another one in with a new injury. And that presents a lot of frustrations, for our players who are trying to find a rhythm with their game, for us as coaches who are trying to find our personnel and, find the chemistry on the court. But all in all, I think it's been a learning process, and I think our players will do everything they can in the off season this year to make sure that they're doing what it takes physically to help prevent injuries in the future. And some injuries are not preventable, obviously, but it's been a hard, challenging year physically and mentally for our players. Sure. But again, they've kept a positive attitude and just keep fighting with whoever's healthy, and I'm very proud of them for that.
Saturday looks to be a positive environment over at Gregory Arena. Both the men and the women will play Wheaton College. The women start first at 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. The second round of conference is always interesting for our players who've never played these teams before, many of them. It'll be great. They know who they are now. We have, something to work from. They've seen these people before. So Wheaton's a great team, coached by a great coach, and it's going to be a fun game, and I hope we come out ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, stay tuned as guard Christine Carl and forward Sophie Newsom join us to talk Cardinal basketball. We'll be right back.